Investigative reporter Catherine Falders and ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, what does this do for both sides of this case? And what is the judge's reasoning here for granting this request for a special master in a case like this?
So, Dan, for both sides, it gives them at least a few days to kind of put a pause on this criminal investigation, as Pierre said. And in that time, from now until September 9th, both sides are going to present who they believe should be the special master. It's going to be interesting to see if they can agree on who the judge ultimately chooses. And then in terms of the case, the DOJ has to do something that is very uncommon, and that's put a pause on their criminal investigation. So subpoenas going out, people being interviewed, the review of these documents for the purpose of the criminal aspect, because the national security aspect will continue. It's going to put a bit of a monkey wrench in that investigation, but also allow the Trump team to review those steps.
Now, Catherine, investigators have been in possession of these materials for 4 weeks now. The DOJ said they've already completed a preliminary review. So what happens to the investigation now, and can they still use what they've already seen?
So this essentially halts the investigation. They've gone through them. They've had the filter team go through them for what they think are privileged documents. But they can't use them right now, at least, the judge says, criminally. So what does that mean? Can they use that in a grand jury? Can they use that in witness interviews? Some legal experts would say they could, but DOJ may not want to do that to impact the investigation. Now, look, I think we're going to wait to see if they will appeal this decision. It puts DOJ in a difficult spot here because if they appeal it, it will take longer. If they don't appeal it, then it sets this precedent in the courts, which also they don't want.
Brian, one of the questions here is, does executive privilege get the same kind of deference that attorney-client privilege or doctor-patient privilege usually gets in court, and whether that executive privilege can apply to a former president, that is. I wonder if the finding in this case sets a new precedent, and what happens now with the dealings in general between future presidents and the criminal justice system?
Well, Diane, before today, I would have told you that they're just different privileges. The privileges that my clients have with me is one type of privilege, the same way that everyone has a privilege with their doctor. And we thought that the executive privilege was just a different one. But now we're seeing this judge in this district saying that for some reason it's somewhat higher, that there needs to be a somewhat elevated review because she's granting this called equitable jurisdiction. She's stepping into this arena. Partly because she's trying to parse through what are the attorney-client privileges, which she's really isn't going in depth for. We know what those are, but she's really seemed to be honing in on giving this special master a power that we really haven't seen before, and that's determining what is and what isn't executive privilege.
So, Catherine, what happens next in this case, and what will this process of choosing the special master look like?
Yeah, so the judge gave both Trump's legal team and DOJ until Friday to come together and agree on this person. So they need to have a conversation about that. And not only who this person will be, I can't imagine, just given the arguments in court, that there will be an easy agreement. So once they do that, then they also have to lay out the duties of what this person wants to do, what they think the special master should do. We know DOJ's position. Trump's lawyers have said that they also want a special master because they want all of the documents back. That's not going to happen in terms of an agreement, something we should see by Friday. But even if we get to that point, we could not get to that point, DOJ could appeal this.
So, Brian, as Catherine just said, DOJ can appeal. Is there a timeline that they would have to do that, or could they appeal at any point in this process?
An appeal can really happen at any point in time. Obviously, the sooner the better for any potential harm, similar to we had in this situation where the DOJ said that the 2-week period for the Trump team to search for a special master was too long. Of course, the judge disagreed. The DOJ doesn't want to get into a situation where they appeal and they have to fight a similar argument as to how long they appealed. But again, as we're saying here, that could take more time, and time is more an advantage to Trump's lawyers than it is to the DOJ's.
And what if they just can't agree on someone? What happens then, Brian?
If they can't agree, then the judge has to decide. It's not necessarily the two parties who are picking who the special master is. They're merely putting forward names that they believe who could be the best person, but ultimately it's going to be the judge who decides. And so I'm hoping at the very least, I think most people are hoping that September 9th, we do get a special master, regardless of what either side believes is right or wrong.
We will be watching very closely, that's for sure. Catherine Faulders, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.